All right, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Sean Callan. Julie Chetney.
Here.
Tom Chiappa is not here. Jim McKenzie is here. Sean Onmock.
Here.
Tim Rice. Here. And Jennifer Salazzo.
Here.
All right, if we can stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first item on our agenda is welcoming our student representatives. So if I can have a motion for the resolution for our 2026-2027 school year student representative, Delaney Bobbitt. Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sean. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? All right, motion carries. Welcome, Delaney. Thank you very much for taking the time to serve. Okay, we're going to have the oath of office administered.
I, Delaney Bobbitt, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge, according to the best of my ability, the duties of the position of the Oswego City School District Student Representative for the 26-27 school year, which I am now assigned.
I do.
I'll have you sign it in. All right.
Okay. The next on the agenda is our public hearing for the 2026-2027 Code of Conduct. So I'm officially opening the hearing. The Code of Conduct has been posted on the agenda, as is posted under item B. I don't know, Dr. Kilmer, do you have any words?
So again, both for Code of Conduct and our district-wide safety plan, we are obligated to annually approve both. And part of that is also to provide for a public hearing that gives the opportunity for the community to provide input into either document. And so this is kind of that formal process. So you should always have a public hearing prior to formal adoption by the Board of Education. The 26-27 Code of Conduct had very, very minor tweaks. It's really years. There were no significant changes made between the 25-26 and the 26-27 school year.
Great, thank you, Dr. Kilmer. Nobody signed up for the floor to public, which would be the time if people had something to speak on this. So I am going to now close the public hearing for the Code of Conduct. Next on the agenda is opening the hearing for the 2026-2027 district-wide safety plan.
Again, similar to the Code of Conduct, the district-wide safety plan is a public-facing document. It is different than the building safety plans, which are confidential plans. So the district-wide safety plan is posted on the website. There are very, very clear guidelines as to what needs to be in the district-wide safety plan. And so we adopted that last year. Remember, we also made a slight change in January because of new legislation for cardiac plans. So those have been already a part of that since January of this past year. So this is the updated 26-27 district-wide safety plan for the board to adopt.
I have a question. Do we typically get a lot of, I know no one's here for the public hearing, but during the school year, would you say that relative to the district-wide safety plan, we get a lot of questions, or questions are brought to your attention and over the year?
So in the district-wide safety plan, no, there's not. There are some portions within the district-wide safety plan specific to things like workplace violence. So we have conversations in our district-wide safety teams to talk about, hey, what are some things that might be going on or problematic within the district that maybe should be addressed within the district-wide safety plan. It isn't always something that might be in that plan, but we have those conversations. We actually review the plan in May as the district-wide safety team to review, hey, are there anything in here that we feel is missing from the past year that maybe we should take a look at and or expand? But no, and I can say in previous districts that I've been in as well, there's not a lot of conversation, especially in these public forums, when you go through this process.
Where does the community go during the school year if they were to have questions about
The district-wide safety plan, they should go directly to me, and the same I would say is code of conduct as well. So anytime there are questions, I'm always going to be the person that someone should address those questions to.
Great, thank you. At this time, the floor would be open to the public, but nobody has signed up for it, so I'm going to officially close the hearing. And so we're now back to our regular board meeting in which this would be the time for the floor to the public, which nobody did sign up for. So we're moving on to the Board of Education and actually formally voting on the Code of Conduct. So if I could please have a motion for item 7A, the 2026-27 Code of Conduct.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second? I got Jen over here. Thank you. All right, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? The motion carries 6-0. All right, now we have 7B, 2026-2027 District-Wide Safety Plan. Is there a motion, please? Thank you, Julie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tim. Any discussion on the district-wide safety plan? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries 6-0. And now we have our agreement with the school district and the SRO, the Memorandum of Understanding, for 2026 to 29 school years. So is there a motion?
Move it.
Thank you, Sean. Is there a second? I'll second. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, any discussion?
I just want to thank Chief Katie, Damian Waters, the Oswego City Police Department. The partnership between the Oswego City School District and the Oswego Police Department has really been incredible in my time here. They are always looking for ways to support not only the school district, but more importantly, our students and the families. This program with the Oswego City Police Department officers in our buildings, they have done incredible jobs of developing positive relationships with students. And we see this more as an opportunity to create connections rather than just policing, which is really what you want in a great SRO program. So we are very fortunate to have such great partners in this, and so I thank them.
Good. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay.
Right. Well, how long was our last contract with them? Can you
3
refresh
years.
my memory? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any other discussion on item 7C? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Superintendent's report, Dr. Kilmer.
So I just want to talk a little bit about really our kind of a construction and what's going on. We are 2 weeks from today, the start of school. We invite staff back next week, and then students arrive on September 8th for classes. And there's a lot of work going on, still going on, will be going on into the fall. So I just want to do a quick update to see if anyone has any questions. So remember, we've got 2 projects going on right now. The 2018 project, which is focused entirely on the high school NFLS outside site work campus. So the Liberty lot, which is the high school lot closest to Liberty and Utica, that lot is pretty much complete. They painted it today. There's one section where it exits onto Buck Boulevard that still needs to be complete. That'll be done next week. The Layton parking lot is just about ready. We expect to see pavement going on this week as well. We have new ADA ramps going directly to the high school, one to the theater steps and one to, there's a kind of a door off that corridor down Buck Boulevard that is now a ramp. Those are both been poured. They've formed the steps to the theater. We expect that concrete to be poured this week. The FLS bus loop that was new, that was going to be going in, tennis courts and that smaller parking lot are a little behind schedule, so they'll continue that work the start of school and then hopefully get most of that complete. One area we were really hoping is to have access to the playground ready by the start of school. That's not going to be ready, but we're optimistic that hopefully at some point this fall, students are going to be able to get on that. The unfortunate thing is you see this beautiful tower with great slides. It's already ready. I've actually wanted to go down it. I haven't. I've resisted because it's not ready. The safe surfacing around it is not ready. But it feels wrong to not let kids get on that before the snow flies. So fingers crossed we can get that ready for them so they can be on that great new space. We will send out some communication both through the high school and Layton on what is traffic patterns going to look like at the high school, because it's going to look a little bit different. Where the buses are going to drop off is going to be different than in previous years. Where parents can drop off is going to look different than previous years. And so there'll be communication with maps, clear diagrams so that everyone understands what that's going to look like. Our hope is, because again, this was designed through a traffic study done in my first year, that it helps to address some congestion. Are there going to be some hiccups along the way? Yep. That's absolutely going to happen, but our promise is very simple. We are going to work through, we're going to notice what needs to be tweaked, and we're going to tweak that. So we just ask our families, our students, and our staff to, if there are changes in that process, that you follow those and trust the process, that we will get it, and hopefully to the point where everyone is a little bit more comfortable in that, a little bit easier to get on and off campus as we move through that. The 24 project, we've got lots of buildings. So at the middle school, offices, nurse office is going to be ready to go for the start of school. So that's on track. The counseling offices were scheduled to be complete in October. We actually expect them to be done mid-September. So they're actually ahead of schedule, which is outstanding. The bathrooms, the student bathrooms upstairs are already getting tiled. Those will be ready to go. There is a slight delay downstairs because of some significant plumbing underground. When I walked in there a couple of weeks ago, it was just dirt. Thankfully, there's no longer just dirt. And they're well on their way to getting the plumbing and walls up. So we're excited about that. The brand new PA system has been installed and should be ready to go in the middle school. At KPS, we expect to see paving tomorrow on that back lot. They've already started to pour concrete for sidewalks along the parking lot and also some new steps and along the building as well. KPS will continue to have some work specific to some drainage. We discovered some issues with drainage underground and had to order a new structure, so that will be coming in the fall. So though we can continue to do some work on that north side of KPS during the school year, but it should have minimal impact on the building's operation. And if things pop up, we'll make sure that families know what to expect and when. At Fitzhugh, nurse's office is on schedule to go, main office, because we took some space out of the principal's office and gave it to the nurse's office. They are moving along. The new PA system is installed and should be ready to go. Windows have been held up by the manufacturer. So while we expected to have 50 sets of windows done already, they haven't even done one. But they have uninstalled, I think, 3 or 4 of them. We expect them to be installing those next week. And then Brian Kessel, our principal there, has been working very closely with the contractor to develop a process so that they can continue some of that work throughout the school year. We have some swing space, so that work will be something that will continue and have minimal impact on our students, other than they might have to shift a classroom for a week while they do work in that particular classroom. At the high school, we are definitely behind in a number of areas. We were supposed to get both gyms done this summer. Only one gym will be done. So what was formerly known as the new gym, which will now be called the blue gym, and when you go in it, you'll know why, that new floor is in. They actually already sealed it. It's already had 2 coats of seal. It still has to have paint and some other work done, but there's some other overhead work they want to get done first before they do the final finish. So that's on its way. The old gym, which will be called the gray gym, was supposed to be completed this summer, but because of delays, we actually said, you're going to put that on hold. We'll do that next summer. So they'll do the Layton gym and then that gym next summer. The technology wing experienced some significant delays in getting some materials. Steel in particular was a significant issue for us. It is here, they are moving along, but while we were hoping to get our tech students and classes in there in September, it's unlikely, likely we'll be in there late October, maybe early November, but our students will be in there this semester, so we're excited about that. Library is still on track to be completed in January. When you walk through the building, when students arrive, there will be hallways without ceilings. There'll be lights, everything will be tucked away and safe, but there's still lots of work to be done. And so that work will be done throughout the course of the year. It'll be done on first shift and second shift, again, to not interrupt instruction. But we will be seeing lots of construction that'll happen. And we're all just looking forward to January when most of that work is done, and we have some really incredible new spaces for our students and our staff, which is really quite overdue, and so we're excited about that. So that's the quick of construction, and we're excited for the start of school.
Thank you very much. Next, we are on to the consent agenda. There are 4 items I'd like to group together, please. If I can get a motion for items 9A through D, please. Thank you, Julie. Is there a second?
Yes.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any discussion on consent agenda items 9A through D? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? The motion carries 6-0. Next on the agenda are the committee discussions. I think we have just the policy committee today. Julie?
Yeah, the policy committee continues to meet and review section by section of the updated policies from NYSBA. I also wanted to just touch base and follow up on some of the recent concerns that we've been hearing from the community related to special requests and your school designation. I don't know if we looked or you knew there wasn't a policy, but come to find out there really is not a policy related to these special requests and a school designation for students if someone wants to make that special request. So we're going to, as a policy committee, start to develop that and put something in place that is student-centered and can meet the needs of our district moving forward. About it. So, yep.
Thank you, Julie. All right, next on the agenda is personnel. I'd like to group the staff items together, please. So if I can have a motion for items A through I. These are our professional staff recommendations.
I'll move.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tim. Any discussion on personnel items A through I? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we have some extra compensatory recommendations and some substitute temporary position recommendations. These are items J through L. If I can have a motion, please.
I'll move.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any discussion on personnel items J through L? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries 6-0. Next, we're to finance, and we're going to be doing the first number of them separately because they're involving the proposed 2026 capital improvement project. So item 12A is the SECRA, is that how we're pronouncing it? SECRA Type 2 resolution for the 2026 capital project. So if I can have a motion, please.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Sean. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tim. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next deals with our bond resolution to pay for the capital projects. So if I can have a motion for item B under finance?
Move to accept.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sean. This does require a roll call vote. Before we get to that, is there any discussion?
Just a reminder, so what this is the resolution approving the proposition that's going to go to the voters. Remember, anytime we do a capital project, we have to bond it, right? So that's what this is a part of. When we discussed at the last meeting, how is this going to be financed, right? As of right now, we are not utilizing any capital reserve to fund the 26 project. And there's no additional tax impact, right? So it's important for that we remember that those two pieces are a part of this ultimate bond proposal. So this is that permits the district to borrow up to $26.5 million to complete this work.
Thank you, Dr. Kilmer. Any other discussion or questions? Okay. Diane?
We'll do a roll call vote. Sean Callan,
Yes.
Julie Chetney,
Yes.
Tom's not here, Jim McKenzie,
Yes.
Sean Onmet,
Yes.
Tim Rice,
Yes.
Jen Salazzo. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Passes 6-0. So next we have finance item C, which is a resolution approving the capital project and having a special meeting. If I can get a motion for item C.
I'll move.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tim. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. And finally, along the new capital project would be the notice of a special meeting referendum vote. This will be to set the vote for our constituents to come out and vote for the capital project. All right, so item D, please. Is there a motion? I'll make a motion. Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Julie. Any discussion? Okay, hearing heard none. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, we're moving on to item E. Item E is the resolution regarding funding a debt service reserve account. The fund August 26th. This is item E. Is there a motion?
Move it.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second? Thank you, Jennifer. So I will actually open up this discussion. I usually wait till the end, but earlier today I spoke a bit with Dr. Kilmer about this particular item. And in speaking with him, he agreed that we may be better served to fund our 2024 capital reserve fund as opposed to this one. But because it was already on the agenda, as this being the recommendation, we didn't think it was good to change it and have the discussion here. So what I would like to do is I would like to make a motion to amend this so that the resolution funds the 2024 capital reserve fund to the same amount as the original resolution. So the only thing I'm amending is which reserve fund it goes to. So I've made the motion. Is there a second?
Second to amend.
Okay, thank you, Tim. So based on procedure, what we'll be doing now is discussing this amendment in and of itself, and then voting on the amendment to change, to adopt the change. So is there any discussion on the amendment?
Capital reserve?
Yes, the 2024 capital reserve, correct.
Yeah, remember, we can't fund the 2018 reserve. We have the 2018, and then we have the 2024 reserve. So this would be to fund the 2024 reserve.
Any other discussion? Okay, so now we're voting on the amendment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. So now what happens is we have changed the original motion, so now we have to vote on that. All right, so is there any other discussion on that? Okay, so now we're voting on the item E, which is now the resolution regarding funding of the 2024 Capital Reserve Fund, August 26th, with the rest of the resolution standing pat. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. Parliamentary procedure, right? Robert's rules. So next we're on to finance items. I'm going to group F through O, please. So if I can get a motion for finance items F through O.
Move it.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second? Thank you, Jennifer. Any discussion? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next were items from the board. Do any board members have anything to discuss this evening?
I don't have anything.
Nice, quiet evening. Okay, well,
Before, I know I'm not a member of the board, but I didn't get a chance already. Come on, Mr. Rice. I'm excited to welcome Delaney. Delaney and I have already had the chance to meet. She and I have talked about ways in which we're excited to work together. She's got a lot of, I think, really great ideas and is excited to bring them to not only just the high school, the district, and the board. And so we are excited about having her be a part not only of this group, but of course, looking for ways to expand that leadership. So Delaney, I just wanted to say thank you for your service and welcome.
yes. And I actually had two items, but that was going to follow. Sean, do you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I appreciate Dr. Comer taking the time to go over all the changes relative to facilities as we come into the new school year. I hope that everybody shows up as excited. I know Mr. Colucci does his drive-bys every day to see the progress of all the different sites, but when you do go, around to our different schools and you see the newness of things, and that's not even inside new bathrooms and teaching areas and things like this, it is pretty exciting. And I hope that we can just over-communicate. As you said tonight, communication will keep happening so that people aren't concerned about safety with construction, patterns of traffic and things like this. But hopefully our whole community, our school community, just stays engaged and excited in what we're trying to do. And certainly leading into the referendum vote that we talked about and that we're heading into tonight, that continues to have our district change its appearance for everybody that's part of it. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Sean. Any other board members? So the one thing I was also going to welcome Delaney. Thank you for coming out. The second thing was to give everybody an update on our board goals. So we had a retreat that we helped devise and come up with some of our board goals. A few of the board members have commented on a document that we generated as part of that. If any other board members would like to comment on it, please do so maybe in the next few days, early next week at the latest. And then I'm going to turn around with Julie and finalize the document to be distributed. And it is something that we need to vote on each year, so that will be something we will do at our next meeting. Okay?
One last thing just for board members. You're going to get an email from Diane tomorrow checking on your availability. I'd like to put on our calendars or your calendar if possible, a possible contingency meeting next Thursday at 8 a.m. We already have agenda planning set for that time. And so we would just need a few more to make sure we had quorum. And that the purpose of that meeting would be to approve any last minute personnel before the start of school. I don't have anyone listed. I don't know if we will need it or not. But the most important thing is if we do, I want to make sure that we have board approval for those adults to start with our students as of Tuesday, that following Tuesday. So we'll send out that email just to see what works in people's schedules and hopefully get that on the calendar as a just in case.
Okay. And then I think we're good then. There's not need for an executive session this evening. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Julie. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Wonderful. Have a good evening, everybody.
Is it just me or was Mr. Rice?